principal and interest question. Of course, when you're doing anything with principal and interest, you need to know that I equals PRT. So interest equals principal times rate times time. Anne invested $12,000 in 2 bank accounts. My question at the end is how much was invested in each account. That tells me that X is going to represent the money in one of the accounts, and I'm going to choose the 6% account. And Y is going to represent the money I invest, or that Anne invests, in the 5% account. Now total, that money, X plus Y, is $12,000. So the amount in the 6% and the amount in the 5% adds up to $12,000. Now in terms of interest, we've got combined interest after 1 year, that's important, was $700. So the interest on this account would be principal of X times rate of 0.06 times time of 1. If I multiply all that, that's 0.06x. For Y, it would be principal of Y times a rate of 0.05. Remember, we move it 2 places. Times time of 1, which would give me 0.05Y. And total interest was $700. So again, easier way on this one is, of course, to isolate the X or the Y. I'll say X equals 12,000 minus Y, and then use that in this equation. So I have 0.06, 12,000 minus Y, plus 0.05Y equals 700. Do some multiplication and simplification to solve for Y. And of course, in doing the math, I found that Y was 2,000, which of course means that I invested $2,000 in the 5% account. To find the value for X, choose either equation. This is the easier one because there are no decimals involved. So I would say X plus 2,000 equals 12,000. And then of course that means X equals 10,000. So I would write my sentence that said I would invest $10,000 in the 6% account and $2,000 in the 5% account to earn $700 after 1 year. Similar question here. Again, this is for just 1 year, but pay attention to that year. That's where a lot of people kind of mess up when they're doing these questions in ALEKS. Press play when you're done with this question to check your work. So Pedro is investing $5,000 for 1 year, part at 12% interest and everything else at 10% interest. So I'm going to say X is the money in the 12%. I wish I had a rate like 12%. And Y as the money in the 10%. And so I know total that money is $5,000. In terms of interest, which remember interest is PRT, principal times rate times time. In this case, again, time is 1 year, but if time were 2 years, you would have to multiply that by 2 or 3, etc. The interest earned on the 12% account would be X times the rate of 0.12 times time of 1. Interest on the Y account would be principal of Y times the rate of 10% or 0.1 times time of 1. And total interest is $568. Whenever I'm dealing with numbers like this with a lot of crazy decimals, it is easier to go ahead and use substitution. So I'm going to say X equals 5,000 minus Y. That gives me 0.12X. Oops, just kidding. 0.12 times 5,000 minus Y plus 0.1Y equals 568. Go ahead and do the math there. In doing the math for Y, I found that Y was 1,600. Remember, that means that I've invested 1,600 in the 10% account. To find X, I would plug it into any of the 3 really equations. So I could say X equals 5,000 minus 1,600, which means, of course, 3,400 was invested in the 12% account. Don't forget to write your sentence. I invested 3,400 in the 12% account and 1,600 in the 10% account.